We do exhibits and traveling exhibits, and we often make a publication to go along with a traveling exhibit, and that's exactly this case. We've made this book to go along with an exhibit, and the exhibit is about Hanson Ross pottery. It's a very Saskatchewan thing, and it's kind of the first, it is the first of the studio potteries set up in Saskatchewan. It came at the end of the 50s and it ran until the 90s. It was two people were involved, they worked together. They were David Ross and Fulmer Hanson, and they figured that they could make a living as potters, so that's what they did. In Canada in the 1950s and 60s, Scandinavian design was really attractive to people here. So when you think of even Expo 67, which had their work in the craft exhibition that was in Expo 67. A lot of the design of Expo 67 is very Scandinavian looking. It's kind of pared down design, clean lines, and so yeah, the work has a kind of a Scandinavian smooth flavor to it, I think. The reason really for doing this book is to make essentially a coffee table book about craft art, really, from Saskatchewan. Many people have Hanson Ross pottery in their cupboards in Saskatchewan, so people should look for that and see, because you really got a special piece of Saskatchewan history, and the book can tell you more about the history of the pottery and that kind of thing. It's accompanies a traveling exhibition that is going to come to Moose Jaw, but not until 2015. And that probably seems a bit funny, but the thing is, we organized the show so we can move our dates around, and I wanted it to go to as many places as possible. So we had it in our schedule originally earlier, but then somebody else wanted those dates, and so I was happy that the show would go there. So it's kind of touring around, and it was exciting. It started its tour in Tokyo, Japan, at the Canadian Embassy Gallery there. If you took a pottery class in Moose Jaw, or Swift Current or Yorkton or any smaller place in the 1950s and 60s, you might have taken it from Fulmer Hanson or David Ross. So I know for sure that they did teach pottery classes in Moose Jaw. So actually, if anyone watching this remembers taking a class, that would be great to hear from them, because it's interesting just to hear about the things they covered in their classes and that kind of thing. Yeah, and the proceeds of the sale of the book all support the art museum here, so it supports us, yeah. So the book is available here at the Art Museum. Anybody can come. The shop is open 12 to 5, except on Mondays. So it's easy to get a hold of the book.